Good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about production possibilities. Let us first review some of the basic economic principles that are required for our discussion before moving on the more particular subject matter of macroeconomics. We begin by examining the frontier of production possibilities. Because scarcity is an economic reality, we must make the most efficient use of our limited productive resources. If we succeed, we will be working at full economic capacity, with all resources being used to provide goods and services that people require. There is usually some economic slack, but we do manage to function at peak efficiency on a regular basis. When this occurs, we are said to be operating on our production possibilities frontier on curve. What do we mean by PPF? PPF is the graph which indicates the various production possibilities of two commodities when resources are fixed. It represents the outcome or production combination that can be produced by a given amount of resources.
So I will give an example about the production possibility frontier. Let's say you're some type of hunter-gatherer and you're trying to figure out how much of your time to spend hunting and how much of your time to spend gathering. For simplicity, we are going to assume that when you're talking about hunting, the only animal around you to hunt for is only, let's say, rabbits. And when we are talking about gathering, the only thing that you can gather is berries. So that will keep our conversation a little bit simpler. So as you can see, this column right here is the number of rabbit that you can get, and this column in the left is the number of berries that you can get. So this will be our scenario. Our first scenario will be scenario A. If you were to spend your entire day going after rabbits, all your free time out, making sure you have the time to sleep and get dressed. Let's say that you can actually get 5 rabbits on an average given day. But if you spend all your time getting 5 rabbits, you're not going to have any time to get berries. So that's why you're be able to get 0 berries. Now let's say on the second scenario, you were able to allocate more time to get berries and a little less time to get rabbits. So that is scenario B, the reality where you have enough time to get 4 rabbits on an average. And when you do that, all of a sudden you were able to get 100 berries. And when we do these different scenarios, we are assuming that everything is equal. You're not changing the amount of time you have either gathering or hunting. And the general term for this is ceteris paribus, which means that ceteris means all other things and paribus means equal. You're not changing the geography where you are hunting, the tools that you use, or the technology. Everything else is equal. The variable you're only changing is how much time you allocate to finding rabbit versus finding berries. So let us continue to scenario C. On an average, you have enough time to get 3 rabbits, but if you get 3 rabbits, then all of a sudden you will be able to get 180 berries. Scenario D, if you reduce the amount of time you spend getting rabbits, so you get 2 rabbits. Now all of a sudden, you have enough time on average to get 240 berries. And then let's say you spend even less time getting hunting rabbits and you only got 1. Then you have even more time gathering berries, and so you are able to get 280 berries. And our last scenario is you spend all of your time getting 4 berries and you are able to get 200 berries a day. But since you have no time for hunting rabbits, you aren't going to have any. That is why it's 0. These are just scenarios on this curve, and that curve we call it production possibilities frontier because it shows all different possibilities we can get and we can do. What we cannot do is something beyond this curve, or we call it impossible. For example, I got 5 rabbits and at the same time I have 200 berries. That is impossible. Any point on the upper right of the curve is impossible. Now, any point that is inside the curve or below the curve, all of these are possible. And that is what's meant by the PPF or production possibility frontier.
Hi, good morning. My name is Joel P. Aaron, and before I proceed to my report, let me greet our teacher, Ma'am Caro Campo, a wonderful day. In addition to my co-reporter, there is a production possibility curve in economy of a country when all its available resources are utilized and these are used as efficient as possible. And this condition is called full employment. What is full employment? Full employment means that all resources available in a country are fully utilized in the production of goods and services. There is point F when output cannot increase if the resources and technology remain constant. Again, this is Joel Aaron reporting.
Good day, classmates and Ma'am Clara. Today I will explain to you opportunity cost. Opportunity cost. It is the loss of potential gain from other alternatives when one alternative is chosen. Which means for an economy to produce an additional output of one good, it has to forego the production of other goods. So for example, let's refer to the graph. Example number 1. If an island economy wishes to produce 500 tons of rice, it has to forego 100 units of tractors in order to attain maximum production. So the opportunity cost of 500 tons of rice is 100 tractors. So let's head to example number 2, which is much simpler. Now, imagine if you have 12 hours of free time and you have the option to study for 2 hours or 4 hours. Let's say you choose to study for 4 hours. Now you only have 8 hours of free time. So the opportunity cost now is the 2 hours of free time that now you cannot have.
Economic growth is defined as an increase or improvement in the inflation-adjusted market value of an economy's products and services through time. Statisticians commonly use the percent rate of rise in real gross domestic product or real GDP to assess such growth. Economic growth, on the other hand, happens through time when the economy realizes larger production capacities for capital and consumer products. However, in order for this to happen, land, labor, and capital resources must rise and/or technology must improve. Most countries experience economic growth as a result of technological advances and increases in capital stock as a result of investments in machinery, equipment, factories, office buildings, and public infrastructure such as new highways, seaports, and airports. Figure 1.1 depicts economic growth as an outward shift or expansion of production possibilities curve. Refers to the arrows.
As we all know that when the country is already using advanced technology, they can produce more product to gain more capital, while countries like Philippines has low economic growth because we are not that advanced in technology. Thank you.